Hiya, Cosmic Cat here. You're going to do a reading. I'm going to call in spirit. Feel free to call in your spirit guides, ancestors, anyone you would like to be present with us here at this moment. If you'd like to set an intention, feel free to do so now. This is going to be a 3-card spread using the Crow deck that I have here. See what the universe has for us. This one's one. And this one. Let's see what we have. The Sun. The Sun. And the 6 of Wands in reverse. And the Chariot. Okay. I will first express what I'm feeling for these cards, and then we will read from the interpretation book. And allow yourself, I'm going to hold each card up for you to see. And allow yourself to feel whatever feelings you feel when you're viewing this card. Any sensations throughout your body, internally, externally. Just allow yourself to feel those feelings and surrender to them. This is the number 19. This is part of your soul journey, as it is a major arcana card. 19 could be significant for you. Perhaps you or someone close to you has a birthday on the 19th. We have a horse here. This shows freedom. This is the freedom, somewhat like the child, innocent freedom you once had. The power, even before you knew what power was. It's very pure, innocent, loving, and kind. The horse is white. White represents purity. The sun is masculine. There's masculine energy within this card. With this card being in the past position, perhaps maybe this is something, a way that you once were, and this could be recent past, or it could be years ago, something that you haven't had in a while. But this card is coming up for a very valid reason that relates to something that you're going through at this time. Some of you, this may not relate to all, as it is a general reading, so please take whatever resonates and leave behind what doesn't. The sun's energy is just so vibrant, fulfilling. I'm getting the feeling of basking in the sun and how that warmth feels on our bodies. How meditative it is when we're in that state. This is something to do with reconnecting with your inner child. Some of you are already connected Some are starting the journey and some are in the middle here with this. The energy is very peaceful that I get with this card. Even if it's powerful and courageous, it also is balanced with the power, with the peace that comes from the feeling of the warmth of the sun beaming down onto our vessels. Okay, so this, the Six of Wands, here it is upright. Six of Wands upright is about success. It's about, here you are up here shining with peace and light surrounding you, passion, and you have followers here. You have others that are wanting to hear you speak, want to know what you have to say. You are a leader in this card. This is a card of leadership, of success, of praise. So in the reversed, it could mean, in a reverse position, this could actually mean that perhaps you haven't yet gained that leadership role. Or maybe there's feelings that it's not for you, or maybe there's some sort of hesitation. There could be a blockage, or you tried it and you don't feel that the leadership role is for you. It could also suggest that there is a situation with peers and your reputation. So this could also mean that your reputation is being challenged or questioned at this time. Are you getting in your own way? Are you getting in your own way? It's interesting. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A bit of a cold here today. Are you getting in your own way? It's almost as if they're all looking, even though you're upside down, which guided me to think of the hanged man being enlightened by himself. It's interesting because this is in the past position, and this could represent maybe a sort of persona that you had. Maybe this was your reputation and how your peers saw you and how you carried yourself at a certain time. And now they're all looking there. They're all looking, these beaks are all facing this way, as if that's who they miss. And so you've made some changes in your life. There's been changes that you've made in your life, and it's not being accepted with all. It's not, you're not being accepted, and that's okay. That's okay. This it's this is an opportunity to release any attachments and detach yourself from, how do I want to say this? From basing your life and who you are on others. For it is you who creates your happiness. There's an affirmation. Delia, grandkitty just came by. Yeah, so there's something about, maybe there's gossip or talk around you because there's been changes that you made. Perhaps there's, the sun is dark now. Maybe you are in the moon energy. Yeah. There's something that needs to be let go. Something needs to be let go. With the Six of Wands in reverse. What it is that you let go is for you to decide. Whether it is letting go of the path that you are on at this time, letting go of where you were then, or letting go of the ones that are said to be friends, but yet they are not standing by you anymore because you've changed. And sometimes that's just the cycle of life for us. Sometimes we do, our friendships change, our personality changes, even our taste buds change. So, I mean, the change is consistent. It's like the wheel. It continues to go and go and go. It's always happening. So it's interesting as you move from this position, which is the now position that you're in. So I feel like this is a warning sign, and this also is asking you to go within to determine what must be done in order, if anything, you may actually not really need to do anything about this at this time, because in your future position here we have the 7 on the major arcana, which is the Chariot. And the Chariot is, I mean, you are solo here. So I don't think that, from the way that this looks, if you look from the past, present, and future position, it looks as though it started out a solo journey, and it's not ending, but perhaps ending at a solo journey. You know, I just got the feeling that this has a lot to do with ego mentality, with letting the ego die. Not necessarily die, because it will always exist, but there's ego death that many of us have been through, and many of you have been through. And so this doesn't even shake or phase you, because it's basically just weeding out who you know will remain with by your side, with you, near you, sending positive vibrations out into the world on your behalf and to you. And it's kind of just filtering out and letting the ones fall away that need to fall away, because our energy is very sacred. The energy that we have within us is very sacred. And it doesn't mean, it's not about a right or wrong matter. It's about something that it's about the self. It's about one. It's about, I mean, even here, even though there's more crows gathered here with you and upright, they're looking up to you. This is still like, they're still separate. You know, you're up here. You're up here. So maybe there is also a feeling, a sense of like, here you are in the sun. It's so interesting to me when you do put them side by side and how you see, like, yeah, they're very similar. They're very similar. So I am feeling that you've changed from the childlike energy, from the strings attached to others, to yourself. Our own inner thoughts can sometimes really create havoc in our lives. And it feels like your childhood innocent, the power that you had then, the power, the carefreeness, the almost like the full energy of just, you know, there's a cliff here, I'm standing on the edge, but I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm good, I've got this. Whereas some would be completely freaked out and like, you're crazy, what are you doing standing on the edge of that cliff? Because they're just at a different level and space and mentality than you. So sometimes that happens. And so this is interesting that it goes, that this looks very similar to this, yet you've grown. Like here you're just like flying freely, absorbing everything. It's very, very soothing and powerful. And here it's you know, you're grown up. You grew up and you're still in the sun, and you learned what peace is. So now you have peace with the sun, and you've been on this spiritual journey. Perhaps maybe it's even new. And in a way, it does separate you from the crowd, from external energies. Yet at the same time, it also teaches. Like you also, it's not internal, but there's a connection there. So maybe with it being reversed, you're disconnecting. You're choosing to disconnect. Friends are choosing to disconnect. It happens all the time. You started a spiritual journey, and you start following your intuition. And once you start following your intuition, you're doing things differently, you're saying things differently, you're a different person, you're letting go, shedding skin of a lot of layers of what you've always known. You're becoming someone else. It's almost as if it's like a serpent. This is a year of the serpent, and it's almost as if you are a serpent shedding skin and letting that old energy go to allow new energy to come in and flow, and trusting your intuition. So you're trusting your intuition more, and that will cause a ripple effect with others, especially who have known you to be just this one childlike, innocent, loving, pure. It's very pure. It's very pure. At the same time, in this state, there's there is only the self, and in this state there is more than the self. There's more than the self here. And maturity, because you've become a leader. And maybe perhaps some of the things that some of your leaderships, some of the speeches, some of the things that you say or communicate are being misunderstood, or perhaps they are not being accepted by others who, maybe don't want to go so deep. Maybe they just like it really simple and to keep that childlike innocence. And that's okay too. It's okay too. So it's not about, you want to be able to let go of others in a compassionate way. It's the way of the Buddha. It's the way of any ascended master. You let go with love in your heart. And I know that this is easier said than done. It's easier said than done for sure. But it is possible. It is possible. And you've done all this work so far. So Spirit really wants you to know that even if you're in this position right now, that everything will be okay, because you're coming to this chariot, this where you've gained. So here you are just free, no armor, just open energy, allowing any energy to flow into your life, whatever that energy could be. And that actually, that's not necessarily the best method, because it leaves you open and susceptible to other energies that may want to keep you down. They may speak words and positivity, yet they will show you, and their actions will prove to you that in reality that is not really what they want. That they want basically just someone to control. And if you cut that cord of the control and gain your own mind, use your own mind to create your own life, your own skills, to develop a connection with your inner child, and then you begin to lead. I mean, one thing is that there's one thing that is, if you take this role here, my throat is beginning to really close up now. So there's something about the leadership that causes some of you anxiety. There's something about being a leader, and this could be even leader of your own life. There's so many different things that can happen when you to go from a child, innocent and pure, to go to an adult and a leader, that's a transition. And this hasn't been something that's happened overnight. But this is a perfect example right here of standing in your truth, standing in your power, knowing yourself ultimately and completely, putting your armor on and flying freely. So in this essence, you're flying, you're free in both of these cards. You're flying freely in both of these cards. The difference is this one is in a childlike sense of, you know, when you're still just learning yourself, learning to walk, to talk, learning words, language, numbers, you're learning about society. You're also learning about yourself. You're learning about you're being taught at a child age, you're being taught. You're being taught things and the way that things are. You're being told. You have pure innocent energy, so anything anyone tells you at a young age when you don't know, more than likely you're going to believe that is the truth because that is what you're taught to believe. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what you are taught to believe. Now in this, and then you grow up, and then in this instance, you actually decided you're a grown-up now. You can think for yourself, ask questions for yourself, learn, find anything out that you want for yourself. It's very liberating. You're free in a liberated way, as in you've created your own mind, your own sense of self. And you know, regardless of what anyone thinks or says or feels about who you are on a day-to-day basis, or who you've become through transitions, through turmoil, through life changes, whatever that may be, life changes of a career, of, you know, your family life changes with friendships, life changes with your day-to-day, and all of a sudden, you know, you don't like pizza anymore. You want to eat pasta. You like lasagna. That's what you don't even eat pizza anymore. It's okay. It's okay. You've discovered what your taste buds want, and what brings you joy, what brings you happiness in your life. And that's part of this as well, is what is it are you doing here that is this for others, or is this for yourself? I mean, there is a group effort with the Six of Wands of connection. And so with connection being broken, if this is the case in this instance, then it's okay. That connection was supposed to be broken. But no matter what happens, if you're try your best to not be sad about anything that breaks, because the universe won't allow anyone to disappear from your life that is meant to be in your life. They will come back to you. But the Chariot, the Sun's more like the childlike before, you know, the armor gets built up. The Chariot is more like, okay, I see the ways of the world. I know what I've been taught, but it's time for me to have my own thoughts, my own knowledge. And so here you've actually grown, matured. You do know all of these things in this world that others taught you. You also have been able to study and learn on your own. And now you also have learned that you need to be protected. So the Chariot is going straight after. You're going straight after something, regardless of what what this is saying here, regardless of what is happening here, you are going for it with the Chariot. And you're protecting yourself too, because you already know that there are going to be some that are going to disagree, that are going to have something to say in a debate. Some like to debate, so they will challenge you. They will debate. They will raise questions on, why are you wearing armor today? Why are you flying like that? It's like, have you ever been asked by someone, why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me? I mean, if you've ever been put in a position like that, then you understand the confusion of, well, we all have eyes. We all look and see with our eyes. And so in a position like that, you may wonder, why are they asking why I'm just, why are they asking why I'm looking at them? Did it, for you, maybe you are looking at them, just looking at them. For them, maybe perhaps they're seeing you in a different way, a way that is unknown to you. And that is theirs to hold. That is their eyesight. That is not something that you need to take upon yourself. So it's also coming up with boundaries, having healthy rules of engagement with others, knowing when it's time to walk away, and knowing when it's time to fight. Yeah. And that doesn't mean physical fighting. It just means communicating your truth in a compassionate way, yet also stern like the emperor. Yeah. So this is overall really good. It shows kind of like the roller coaster of beginning with the beautiful joy and light that you have, that you've always known you've had. And even if you haven't known you've had, others have told you so many times, you're beautiful light. You carry such a beautiful light. They feel good around you. They want to be around you. Some want to absorb your energy. Some want to just be in your presence. And then you go to the passionate leadership role, somewhere you haven't been before. And because they kind of wanted you to lead here anyway, in this energy, being out in the environment and everyone always just saying to you, oh, you bring such beautiful light. I just love being in your presence. You're a queen, you're light, you're love, so much happiness and joy when I'm with you. And so it's kind of actually asking you to step up to a leadership role. They kind of were asking you to step up to a leadership role at that time. So when you did in any way stand up for, as a leader or for yourself, this caused conflict. This caused some sort of conflict because perhaps it wasn't in the image that they saw you. It wasn't the way that they visualized you, or perhaps what you were feeling or saying didn't resonate with them, so you immediately received rejection. So there may be some phases that you go through within this energy if you're in this phase. Perhaps you're maybe still in this energy and don't want to leave it, which is understandable. It's a very pleasing. However, I will say that this could be more of you finding external happiness in others as opposed to finding your own internal happiness. if you like to find your own internal happiness, it's extremely important to go not against people or others or the grain, but to know that whatever your intuition or your inner guidance, your inner child speaks to you or shares with you, or the knowledge that you gain, that you must stay with that. That is something to stay with, no matter how outlandish it is. That is actually how, if you look back on any inventor, how crazy they were perceived in this world before they created and invented something that changed the world entirely. That is exactly what the energy that I'm feeling with this card right here. It's the energy of you not looking for external happiness anymore. You're in your happiness. You have found your true happiness inside you, and it may be different than this. And perhaps maybe you haven't completely enveloped that happiness. Things happen, traumas happen. We lose loved ones, we grieve, we lose pets, we grieve. There's so much. Our family members get in car accidents. We have, there's all kinds of things that happen. And, you know, it's basically knowing that you are the sole person responsible for your happiness. It's wonderful to share happiness with others, but it's important for us to know that our own happiness is separate. It's an internal happiness, to where if you are being questioned or attacked or gossiped about externally by others who don't even really know you or never did. They may have never even really known you there. They just knew. Have you ever met someone that said, oh, your energy is so bright and I just love being around it? And they don't even have an explanation for it. You don't have an explanation for it, but you know that you've been told this a million times. This is like, again, this is just like almost as if you're a natural healer and you hadn't tapped into that yet. And it could be something else. It could definitely be something else. That part isn't for everyone. But there is some sort of friction, and it's important for you to stand your ground, to stay in your truth. Also, I mean, we definitely want to be able to look at ourselves and make sure, that we didn't say or do anything to harm others. And if you're unable to recall, well, a true friend is going to come and speak to you about it. Hey, you said this, or something you said or did hurt my feelings, and this was it. So a true friend will not gossip behind you. They will actually come to you and speak to you about that and say, hey, this, I didn't really like that. And if they want a relationship with you, that is the healthiest way to have that relationship, is by actually coming to speak to them about it. If they don't and they choose to speak around you, then that also shows that, well, where does that leave learning and growth and connectedness to come in? Connection with one another on a detached level where you don't take ownership of their feelings or who they are, and vice versa. Because in this energy it could have been possible. It's easy. I mean, that's easy if people are coming around saying, if you have strangers coming up to you saying, wow, you just have a very soothing energy and I just feel so much joy when I'm around you. I mean, it could be easy for one to get caught up in that with their ego, or to get caught up in it and not even really be aware that, hey, that's their energy, that's how they feel. So it's important to look at everything all together. But I feel this is really wonderful. It shows growth. It shows that you are standing, no matter what is going to come to you. You have the Chariot. You now know that you must protect yourself. You can take ownership of your responsibilities, of your feelings. However, if you are unapproached by any, if this is gossip behind your back and, you know, the backstabbing situation, this is something that isn't even, it doesn't matter to you, because those, again, that's the type of relationships that's going to dwindle away anyway, because you are on a mission now. Your Chariot is moving straight forward, and it's actually moving away from this. If you notice, this one is almost like going right into it unknown. It's almost like a child going into something unknown and having no idea what will happen. And then um and then just getting shaken up, and then realizing, oh, I am still who I am here, and or I am still who I am, and those that want to see me through will. And you're just out, you're like, okay, I'm going after it. 7 could be very significant too. It's a sacred number. um you know, there was something, there's, 7's always been considered a lucky number. It's always been one of my favorite numbers too. Of course, the a day of my birth is on a 17th, so that includes the 7. But there's something that's always been drawn with the number 7. And I'm not sure if that relates with time or not. This could be the 7th month. Maybe perhaps in July is when you're going to feel the Chariot movement. Maybe you're in this phase right now. Let me know in the comments below if you're in one of these phases and what feelings you may feel about it. Okay? That's the reading for today. Cosmic Catt signing off, meow.